Before I start this video, I just want everybody to know that YouTube has been deleting a lot of my subscribers again and still. So go check your subscribe button. Make sure that you're still subscribed, and if you're not, resubscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, 52 or 53% of all of the people that watch my videos are not subscribers. So subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like, make a comment, make me proud. Now, let's go to the video. Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. If you like your personal space, if you like your privacy, China is probably not the place for you. With 1.4 billion people, any city that I've ever been in has people everywhere, and they're not they're curious. They're not above if people are on the street fighting, loud talking, husband and wife and stuff like that. Not me and Wei Fong, but other people. The crowd will stop and watch and see. When you're out in public, you're always under the scrutiny of a million eyes, and it's just part of it. Not only that, but there's cameras everywhere, like seriously. And I thought a couple years ago, well actually 6.5 years ago, when I got my driver's license here in China and bought a car, and I saw all of these traffic cameras and cameras everywhere. I thought, nah, they can't watch everybody all the time. So I didn't believe I was going to get tickets. Well, 1 month later and 3 tickets later, I found out that these cameras actually work. So they are watching through the cameras, the people are watching, and there's just not a lot of personal space. There's not a lot of privacy out on the street. So you've got to sort of roll with the punches, because I'm a guy from Weldon, Saskatchewan at its heyday in 1975-ish. There was a total population of 250 people. Yeah, I come from a big place, Weldon, Saskatchewan. Anyway, so then coming to a place that has 1.4 billion people and a city of 7.5 million people, Nanning, and that's just changed from a tier 3 to a tier 2 city. So it's considered a fairly small city here in China. There is people literally everywhere, and it's not at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's not at midnight, it's not at 4 o'clock in the morning. It is all day, all night, 365 days out of the year, and that's just the way it is. The hustle and bustle of the city is probably something that I like, but you can always go home. And in your home, you have privacy. Oh, wait a second. When you marry into the Chinese world, you don't just marry the Chinese girl, you marry the Chinese girl's family also. So although we've owned a property, well, a number of properties in China, but the one that we have on Gweilo, we've had that one for 13, 14 years now. And there's always been, up until about 3 months ago when the old boy went into the old folks home, we've always had family members in our home too, so you can't even go home to get a little bit of privacy. It was Wei Fong's mom and dad and brother to begin with. Then the brother moved to Vancouver, and then it was mom and dad. Then mom passed away. Then it was dad and the brother's fiance, and then his wife type thing. And then it was, you know what I mean? So it just goes on and on. So out on the street, you have no privacy, you have no personal space. Out on the street, you see people singing and dancing in public because they're not shy. They are shy to talk to you, but they're not shy to dance on the street, sing on the street, do their hobbies on the street, because if they don't, well then they just can't, because there's no other place to do it. So you have to be oblivious to all of the eyes that are watching you around China, because you're not going to get away from it. And if you are embarrassed to do what you want to do, like me walking down the street with a camera in my face, talking, and people I know are watching me, you have to just sort of put that off to the wayside. Alex Absolute said one thing in one of his videos that, you know, before he came to China, he would not do a lot of the things that he would do in China. He learned how to I guess, deal with the lack of privacy and the lack of personal space. It's something that you have to get over, and if you don't, it really impedes your life here. Like, people are watching you all the time. It's just one of those things. One of the places that I've noticed the lack of privacy the most is when we go to see a doctor. There's a lot of people in the waiting room, and the doctor's door is sort of half open, half closed. People come in when you're talking to the doctor and stand there and over your shoulder because they want to be next. And so there's really no privacy, even in the doctor's office, in the hospitals either. We were doing some videoing at a hospital here in Nanning, and we were allowed to just go into people's rooms as they were getting treatment done and actually videotape it. That would not go over well in a place like Canada or the United States, where your medical privacy is sacred, just about. You know what I mean? Another one of the things that I thought was really, really strange is you can be sitting at a table in a restaurant and the place is basically packed. It's loud here. The place is basically packed, and there's a chair at your table. Well, it's not, people will come and they will sit at your table and take an order at your table. If you did this in Canada, people would say, "What the hell's the matter with you, boy?" You know, but in China, this is normal because there's so many people that if there is a chair at a restaurant and it's not being used, whether it's at your table or not, they will sit down at your table. I see the difference. Walked across the street because on that side of the street I'm gonna get run over. I see the difference in the privacy and the personal space, probably more than the regular person, the regular foreigner would, because not only do you have no privacy in China, you have basically no personal space at home or out on the street. But when you're a YouTuber and everybody in your little city of 7.5 million people knows who you are, or a good portion of those people know who you are. You know, I went to the bar the other night, the Queen's Head pub, and people in there knew who I was. You know, so you can't get away from it. People are always, and I went to McDonald's here this morning. Hey, Anthony, a new WeChat friend, a guy from Ireland, but he lived in Britain for, I think, 30 some years. Another Nanning expat. But people know who you are, and it does take a. I like it when people approach me and say, "Hey, you're Gweilo sexy." I say, "Yeah, I am," but you know, so the privacy is just not there in a place like China. So as I say when I started out this video, if you value your personal space, if you value your privacy, if you're a private type of person, then China is probably not the place for you. You want some place that doesn't have 1.4 billion people. You want some place that people won't stop and stare at you. You want some place where you go to the doctor, people won't be walking in the door and standing over your shoulder while the doctor tells you what's wrong with you. You know, all of these things sort of accumulate into a really strange world as compared to what I'm used to in Canada, because there's more people in a place like Shanghai area than there is in all of Canada or Chongqing. You know, so one city can be as big as the country in population that I'm used to, and that country is bigger than China in landmass. So by now you're probably wondering, well, you know, Gweilo, that's good in the big city, but what about the villages? Do you have more privacy in the villages? Well, yeah, you do. It's one of those things that the cities are drawing more and more people, but and they're coming from places like this, villages. This is just on the outskirts of Nanning City. There's still more people here than there is in a small village 100 kilometers outside the city, but you're still looking at less of a population, definitely. Okay, now why don't we ask one of these local village girls exactly what she thinks about privacy. Hi there, little girl. What's your name?
You already called me down.
You grew up in China. What, and you moved to Canada. What do you see as the difference between privacy and personal space, Canada compared to China?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. And here is like a more opening. Do I say right?
More opening. There's no. I don't understand that.
It's more open.
More open.
In Canada, people feel like live in a shell.
In Canada, they live in a shell.
Mostly.
They're more private.
Yeah.
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 People don't. There's not a billion people.
Yeah, that's one thing. But the thing is, you see, a lot of the Canadian or whatever, the foreigners and they, how do I say this? It's too boring. Life
Canada's boring.
It's not a lot to do.
Yeah,
and
but
people are hiding in home to do their own thing. And then more time they spend on their own. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And thanks for watching. Bye now.